All right, welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV. Tonight we've got the RGR Racing League and the Alive Church Xfinity Series. During this holiday season, we take to Talladega for the Alive Church Talladega 225. I'm Dean Doucette. He's Jared Carr. Jared, happy holidays to you, first of all.
Yeah, you too, Dean. I hope it was a good one. And, we're ending, basically, this is the last race of the year for us. 2024, about to end this thing in style here at Talladega.
You bet we are. You know what? Talladega brings hope to everybody. Everybody's got hope, or at least they will have in a couple of days when the new year starts. And I know I'm hopeful it's going to be a great year here in 2025. Let's get into some racing here at Talladega. The track here, pretty self-explanatory. Super Speedway here, Jared. You know, lots of room. But could we have fuel mileage? Could we have saving? I mean, it's always a possibility, Jared.
Yeah, this track, you can do about 30-something laps or so on fuel. So, you're going to have to watch that number because we're doing, I think, 94 laps tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how all that plays out. We'll get into it as we go along. There's no doubt about it. Right now, let's look in on our championship standings here. Unofficial standings, as always. George Leal out on top. Bryce Reiner in second, just 11 points behind, unofficially. Jason Jackson in third. Of course, James Herbert winning a thriller last week in Phoenix moves up into fourth. It's Ratliff, Greg that is, in fifth. You got Williams, Bruce, Jason Spear, Ripka, and Travis in the top 10. Jared, it's always a time to make a move when you go to Talladega.
Yeah, this is a track where you can either come out ahead or you can come out really far behind. And it really has nothing to do with how you're driving. It has to do with everybody else. This is one track where you have to rely on everybody else and not yourself, but you have to be able to make moves when the door opens up late in the race, though, Dean.
Yeah, when the doors open, you got to take it. You got to be smooth about it. You got to have help. Teammates going to be so important here, as they always are. But right now, I want to ask anybody to rise up out of your seats, take your hats off, and listen to the singing of the national anthem by Miss Alicia Shipman.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, ready to go racing. Everybody lining up and getting ready to go. Let's get into tonight's starting grid. It's going to be T.J. Rogers in the number 72 sitting on the pole with a time of 54.423. Lance Ripka, identical time, but he'll start second in the number 52. In row 2, you have Jason Jackson and Claus Williams. Row number 3 is going to feature Bernard Person and Rachel Hunt. Jason Brantley and George Lee will be in row 4, starting 9th. Adam Newton on the outside will be Brian Helm. Bryce Ryan will start in 11th, along with Paul K. Travis starting in 12th position.
Go
ahead. I got
ahead,
it, Jared. We got Bear Walker in row number 7. Row 8 is McCanny and Maurer. Beller and Wrecker. You got Fleming, Greg Ratliff, Fred Lester, Corey Buskirk, Todd the Toadman Gilly, and George Dibble. We got a couple more in the field here tonight. Musial and Mike Brown at the back of the field.
Yeah, 26 cars here tonight. We got 85 air, 116 track. So it's a little bit of a hot one. These cars are going to move around a little bit more than normal here tonight. Don't forget pace car speed 70, pit road speed 55, and that's going to be something we're out to look at throughout the night, Dean, is getting on pit road and then leaving pit road with a group. You don't want to get disconnected with the guys you come down with, and you don't want to come down by yourself either.
Yeah, great point. Teamwork paramount here. We're going to see that, whether it's teams, whether it's friends, whether it's guys who just found themselves here on the track working together. They're going to need some friends, especially at the end of this thing. And like you alluded to, pit stops are going to be highly important. They always are, especially here at RGR Racing, where they do it right and they race clean and green, and we expect to see green flag stops here this evening. Pace car pulling off the track.
Yeah, I'm going to be just like Mike Joy every time we come to Talladega. The start-finish line isn't in the tri-oval. It's all the way down toward turn 1.
All right, there you go. Long wait for these guys, and they can build up a little anticipation here.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag drops. Feel fully alive. It's the Alive Church Talladega 225. We're racing.
It's going to take these cars about a lap to get up to speed. They're not as slow to get up to speed as the older cars, not as much horsepower or anything like that, but you'll see these guys kind of start to figure things out after the first lap. Right now, a little bit stringy on the top side. 3 cars kind of breaking away. There's Leo, our point leader, trying to cut back down and get that outside line moving.
Yeah, things are already up here being contested. We hop quickly on board with Bernard Person. We'll jump up top here with Rachel Hunt momentarily. And you can see that top line. They're trying to get to the front already, Jared.
Yeah, Ripka is clear, but he's not going to drop down. And Dean, I've noticed in the truck this week, the middle groove has been very operative, and there he goes. Klaus Williams, he's not going to stick around. He's going to go to the bottom, get that trade.
So Klaus slips from 3rd on the high side down to 1st on the inside. Klaus Williams, your new race leader.
Yeah, and TJ Rogers, our pole setter, didn't even get a bonus point there. He didn't get a lap led yet.
Yeah, that's always a shame in these things. You get the pole, you work hard, you come out, you do not lead the first lap. Happens a lot.
We already got some guys dropping off the back, Dean. Jacob Musial well off the back. I'm pretty certain he's lost the draft. And Nathan Maurer and the 12 machine are up on the 3rd groove trying to go to the front, Dean.
How about that? Maurer and McCanny up there working together as 2 guys who, haven't been around a lot this year say, hey, we come to race here tonight.
Yeah, I didn't recognize Randy's paint there. He's usually in a Ford paint, and tonight he's in a white and blue paint.
Yeah, looking sharp out there. Maurer and his
help.
familiar. They're 3 wide at the front. It's Ripka out front in the middle with Hunt. On the bottom, you got Williams and Rogers, and up top, like we said, it's Maurer along with McCanny.
And Brian Helm jumps up there, and that's all you really need on that high side. If you can bubble push like these guys are doing, McCanny might have hit the wall.
Oh, he did hit the wall. He gets a little wiggle out of it, and that might have been a little bit of an over-aggressive push, or he might have just lost it. I'm not sure. But they back out of it. They're going to have to get back in line, at least momentarily here. A little further back, there's some action, too. Someone up high up there. I think they're just getting it sorted out. That might be Bryce Reiner back there.
And Musial actually was able to catch back up to the field. So George Dibble kind of went back and kind of spread himself out a little bit. Musial back in the pack. So everybody that started the race is in the main pack, Dean.
Yeah, you always like that. We talked about it, right? You need friends, Jared, and that's one of the purposes. They can pick you up. They can drag you back to the pack.
McCanny going back up there with Nathan Maurer again. And Dean, I've seen that this week. You know, I've done a lot of truck races in the C-Fix and C-Open this week against mostly my better judgment. Not sure why I've been dragged into those races, but I have. And I've noticed a lot of guys getting the netcode wall hit there, and it is just bad news. And I don't know what's going on there. And obviously this is a different vehicle than the truck, obviously. But it is interesting to note that the mechanic did hit the wall there, and it's very odd because it's not something we see a lot at Talladega, but it just seems like the walls are just a little bit more grabby than they used to be.
All right. As Adam Newton, the Bulldog, just set the fastest lap of the race. He hops up on the high side. They're 3 deep up there. I love what I'm seeing, Jared. They come to race here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well go, right? I mean, this is a, as we're talking, I'm pretty certain from what I remember in B Opens in the past, it's about 33 laps, and Maurer, big move down to the bottom. Holy cow, he just left those guys, but it didn't matter. He's going to pick up the bottom line there with Klaus Williams.
Yeah, right across the nose of Lance Ripka. That'll make your heart stop, Jared. You know, Jared, and I heard your comment there. I got to think that this dragged into the open server. That may be code for I lost some iRating this week.
Well, in the Talladegas, I did not lose that much. I actually came out positive.
Okay, all right. My mistake. Good stuff.
Legacy Texas, not so much. But the B car. But the Talladega actually turned out pretty good.
Well, we look in right now on James A. Bear. Well, it's hard to get him singled out here. But James A. Bear up on the high side, that 25. Jared, who could forget last week? I mean, Phoenix, him holding off Bryce Reiner. A thrilling victory for the fellow Canadian of mine.
Yeah.
Soon to be American, I hear, by the way.
I was going to say American, maybe. I don't know.
Who knows? I'll talk to the governor.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if we were doing like a year-end show, Dean, and we were counting down our top 5 moments of 2024, that would be up the top. It's hard to beat you grimacing with pain watching the Lions on Sunday Night Football a few weeks ago, but that was pretty close.
Okay. Well, we got our chance next week with the Lions. They got a big one against Minnesota for all the marbles. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen one. I might have to cancel the broadcast next week if they play at night, Jared.
Yeah, and I think that's probably going to be the night game is McCanny there. Dean, he slides down to the middle lane, and Ripka now having to push him. And Dean, I like this main group. They're racing, but there's some guys in the back here. They're like, I'm good. And some of those, Bryce Reiner is one of those guys back in the back here just kind of chilling, Dean.
Yeah, Reiner, you can see him, and he's content to just ride along there. He's got Musial, Dibble, the Toad Man, Greg Ratliff, Wrecker, all back here just cruising and relaxing. There's Lester and Fleming, Beller, Brantley, so a whole line of cars, and then it gets really racy in front of them. So I don't know which strategy I like better. I think I always like the front better, Jared, but it's a little more dangerous, and it's a lot of racing. 90 laps, 3 wide is intense. I'm an old man. I don't think I can bear it, Jared.
Excuse me. I've been battling a cold this week, so apologies. But yeah, you're exactly right, Dean. I mean,
I'm an old man?
What's that?
That I'm an old man, you mean?
No. I think I would be in the back up until probably the second pit stop. because I mean, you want to be in a good position, right? You want to be able to get on pit road, get with guys you want to go and work with. That's one hand, and Dean, you know, I'd be a perfect lawyer because I could argue both sides, right?
Yeah, likewise.
You know, on the other side of that argument, I want to know what my car is going to do, and I want to know, more importantly, who I can work with and who I can trust on lap 89. And getting up front and racing like Adam Newton is, he's got James Herbert back there. Herbert's pushing him. He's not abandoning him. He could drop off right now. He's pushing the Bulldog to the front. Adam's probably thinking, hey, I'm going to look for that 25 car if we're at the near each other at the end of this race.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jared. I mean, you know, these guys who get up here and race, they do have a distinct advantage. Not only track position, but the things that they learn, the people they learn they can work with, and the people they learn they can't work with. That might be even more important, Jared.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, and that's what you're trying to figure out. Is this guy bumping me at the wrong time? Is he making my car upset? Is he helping me? Is he hurting me? These are things you're just tabulating, you know, here on lap 10 for the last 10 of this race is the kind of things you're kind of looking at right now. But Dean, you know, I look at this front of this field, McCanny leading that thing, and Ripka up there. I mean, we got to talk about Rachel Hunt. I mean, she is a very, very good plate racer in her own right. You got Bernard Person. He is a great plate racer. I mean, there is a lot of good plate racers up at the front of this field, Dean.
Yeah, there is, and that in itself might lead to problems. Too many good drivers up here battling. They may get a little risky up here. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But what I find interesting right now, McCanny has taken the lead here in the 12, and Maurer right behind him. They were on the high side, vice versa. Maurer was in front of McCanny. They worked their way from 3 wide down to the bottom and down to the front. I mean, great moves by these guys.
Yeah, and everything started to get a little bit single file, double file. I'd say we're 6-7 rows deep double file right now. McCanny trying to just kind of play a little bit. But Dean, I was looking at kind of a wide shot, and what I'm noticing is the handling is starting to come into play with these cars. You're starting to see a lot of guys moving around a little bit, just moving around a little bit. And that's one thing with this Xfinity car. It does have a handling aspect that you don't necessarily get in the A car, and you definitely don't get in the truck.
Well, let me ask you this. Is this more an air thing? Is this a tire thing? What are we looking at with the handling?
Well, this car is a low downforce car. Out of all three of them, even at the super speedways, this car puts on the lowest pounds per foot-pounds force than any of the top three cars. It puts down the lowest amount of rear downforce. So as the run goes on, that fuel is burning off, the fuel burns off, the rear end raises up. That also gets you out of an aerodynamic box a little bit. So there's a lot of things at play. But the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is there is an actual different set of tires for Atlanta, Talladega, and Daytona. And these tires are just a little bit narrower and a little bit softer than what you see at the rest of the year, and the handling comes into play so huge at these tracks because of that.
You get a sense of the speed here. We bring up our dashboard on these static cams, and we're reaching 187, 188, Jared. I mean, they're getting up there. 189.
Absolutely. And you know, the other thing too is the one thing we don't have to worry about anymore, and this is the fixed setup league, we're not going to overheat. That oil temperature is the only thing you have to worry about. But the water temp is something that won't come into play at all tonight. So you can push, but you don't want to push for too long. You don't want to lock bumpers for too long. Otherwise, you might get into trouble with that oil temp.
Well, that's certainly something that'll come into play, and I noticed it in an Xfinity race I was in recently where, you know, you really wanted a timeout. At the end of the race in particular, Jared, I seen a couple of guys, actually guys that were battling us, they took their shot a little too early with like 2 to go, and I knew they were going to overheat, so we waited just a little bit longer, and boy, we prevailed quite nicely, Jared.
Well, that's what I like to hear. I like to hear Dean Doucette succeeding out there.
Well, I was a sacrificial lamb sitting in third. I got wrecked, but we did win the race. I believe the Bulldog, Adam Newton himself, winning that race. Bernard Person was in that race. He came third. So we had a successful team night, but, enough about me, Jared, and my poor luck. But right now, McCanny leading. Ripka on the outside with Hunt pushing. You got Maurer pushing on the inside. Then it's Williams. You haven't talked a lot about Claus. He's been up there the whole night. He's sitting third on the inside. Helm sitting fourth on the outside. That's TJ Rogers fourth on the inside there.
There's a lot of guys and gals that we haven't talked about. How about Michael Walker? Yeah, the 22 machine, that App State forward back there, doing a good job right in front of the UK machine of Eric Beller. So 2 colleges getting represented out there.
And there's our Alive Church machine. I always like seeing that. Paul K. Travis in the 88, rocking that Alive Church machine.
Yeah, great sponsor. Lets us, do these Sunday night races, Dean, that we have a lot of fun doing. I mean, we've had some great races this year. I mean, it's hard to believe that 2024 is about to be in the book. It just feels like yesterday that we were just starting 2024. But, man, we've had some races this year.
We really have. I mean, RGR has not disappointed. They go out, and more times than not, we have a thrilling finish no matter what the race is doing. Right now, it's McCanny out front. He's up 14 spots. Ripka right where he started in second. Maurer's up 13 spots. He's in third. Then it's Hunt, Williams, Person, Rogers, Helm, Jackson, and Bear in your top 10. Laps 16 and 90 here in the Alive Church, Talladega 225.
These replay tracks, I don't get to flip the questions around on the play-by-play man, Mr. Doucette over here, a lot. But, man, Dean, looking here, lap 17, if you're somebody like, Bernard Person there, or TJ Rogers, or, Brian Helm, or Bear, like kind of in this middle group, or the point leader, George Leal, like, what are you thinking right now? Like, what is your strategy? You're kind of locked into where you're at. Do you like where you're at? Do you want to try to get out of this group? Do you sense danger? Like, kind of what are you feeling if you're in this position? Like, if you're George Leal leading the points?
I'll be honest with you. With the gaps I see here, I'm feeling okay, but I sense danger. Jared, I always sense danger at Talladega. I prefer to be at the front. I prefer to go 3 wide right now, make a move, get me to the front, or get me to the back. It's too early, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, that kind of area. Any of these guys, they're in no man's land, right? So if they have teammates in front of them, behind them, okay, you got lots of trust. If they don't, they could be in trouble. Any little checkup, any little mishap, a little touch of the apron, and there could be a wreck. So I don't like it, Jared, especially early in the race. A lot of laps remaining.
Yeah, long time to go. And Dean, you bring up a really good point. You're just kind of like boxed in. It's hard to get out of this decision, But, something I was thinking about, Dean, we talk about the fuel mileage, 30 laps. McCanny and Ripka have been leading both lines pretty much, let's say, since lap 5-ish. I mean, these guys are burning a little bit more fuel than everybody else. I wonder how that's going to play in on that fuel strategy, because I don't know what the fuel number is exactly. I know we always short pit, but you can't do that with 90 laps. So I think you can go 30 laps, but McCanny and Ripka got to be sweating just a little bit on that fuel number.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure the fuel mileage myself. I'll check in on that right away. I'm thinking it's much larger, 100% fuel here, Jared. I think you got guys thinking about making it on one stop. And if I look at my notes, we got something from one of the drivers. I won't out him, but he said 42-ish was the number. And he says, suspect, watch for some guys who are going to be milking it. So we look back here at, Dibble, Reiner, Musial, the Toad Man, Ratliff, Wrecker. These guys all back here could be saving, Jared.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I was a little bit off. I know we do 60 laps in the open servers, or maybe 58, something like that. So you pit on like about 22-ish, and you get around the track pretty quickly, and that kind of ends the race there. So I wasn't real sure what the real fuel number was, but that's good information to know.
Yeah, I mean, that was sent to me right prior to the race, so I'm thinking it's fairly accurate. We'll see. The race, usually you can do more than you think you can. You sit in the pocket. Say you're the 87. That's Jason Jackson sitting there. He's currently in 9th position on the bottom here in the 87 machine. You know, he's right in the middle there. The one bonus of being in the middle is fuel mileage, Jared. I mean, if you're at the back, it can be hard to really save the way you want to. You got to be in the draft, have a guy behind you and in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. And while you were talking there, Dean, the Bulldog pulls up with Fred Lester. Oh, Fred. We don't talk about Fred a lot, Dean. He is going to the front.
I love it.
With Adam Newton.
Let's bring him up here. So Lester getting racy here. Looks like he's got himself a nice paint job tonight. Fresh paint. You know, the National Guard machine, and he's wobbling. Woo! He was close to the wall there, Jared.
Yeah, he was. I think he just got in there just a little bit high. Somebody else that's coming up there as well, but he can't tell who that is exactly.
And now Musial just set the best lap of the race. So Musial riding around the back, all of a sudden he's sucking up. He's ready to go racing here.
That's the 90 of Michael Fleming. So we got, if Bernard Person moves up to the third line, we got a third line foreman, Dean. I didn't see this coming.
I did. I love it. It's almost the new year, so we got new attitudes out here. People want to race.
Or, I mean, your attitude, you're like, man, my attitude sucked all year. Why change right now? I might as well wait a few days.
That's me. I got a bad attitude. I plan on keeping it, Jared.
Absolutely.
So Hunt right there pushing Ripka on the middle lane. They've been doing a great job all night, but you can see what you were talking about, Jared. These cars are dancing a little bit at this point, and now we got a nice 3 wide here. I mean, is this getting too dangerous?
Whoa, man, Adam Newton shoving, locking together with Bernard Person. He's like, Bernie, you're going to the front, bud, whether you want to or not. And that's going to be interesting to see if he can clear him. Newton's not going to be able to do this for too long before that car starts overheating.
Yeah, this is getting wild up here. I love it, though. You come here to race, let's race. We're putting on a show. And now that line moves. Look at that shove from Newton. Person to the front. Does he leave Newton? No, he doesn't. He thought about it. Boy, it's getting tight there.
Yeah, Bernie doing exactly what you got to do. Run right on the side of that dotted line. Because if you run too high, Dean, and Michael Fleming got the wall. If you run too high, you do get the wall effect, and it does slow you down. So you got to run a little bit off that wall. But, man, I thought Bernie was going to clear him there. Just didn't have just enough there.
Well, he was clear, but yeah, you got to be very decisive. And at this early stage, you better be sure about your decisions.
Yeah, you don't want to cause a big one on lap 24.
You really don't, but that's what we're here for, Jared. Remember the old days? You came to Daytona or Talladega to see the wrecks. That's just the fact of the matter.
Exactly right. You look back further, Corey Busker getting up in the action now. He's up behind Michael Walker there in the middle line. But everybody has abandoned the 2 and the 8, Person and Newton. So it's just 2 men trying to get up there. Lester might go back up there again. He's like, I don't know, man. I might try to get up here again.
Yeah, I love it. These guys are out here. They're going after it. Usually that third lane would just be dead by now, but not here tonight. They're going for it. Here comes Corey Buskirk as well. He's going to go up there, or at least he's thinking about it. He doesn't know where to go, Jared. He slips into the middle.
Yeah, it's hard. You're kind of like, I want to get up there. I don't know, maybe not. It's hard.
It
to make a
is
decision
tough.
there.
And Helm makes a move. Wow. Newton something. I think he brushed the wall. Wow, big trouble for the 2, and he's blown his engine. Adam Newton, the Bulldog, blown engine. Lester slides around him. Will he lose the draft is the big question. Lester trying desperately to hang on to the draft. He won't. He is in big, big trouble.
Yeah, Dean, I was looking at that and listening. I thought that engine was starting to let go just a little bit, and I thought he was shoving Bernard Person awfully hard, and I think it just popped the oil there.
Unbelievable. The Nano Pros machine, the number 2, the Bulldog, out of this thing early. And now they go side by side. The third lane effectively dead. Lap 26 at 90.
And that is huge that we didn't have a wreck, because that was right in the middle of everything. And number 2, I feel so bad for Fred Lester, because he is well off the back, and there is no chance that he'll be able to get back up here, I don't think.
Yeah, Lester was the one who lost there, and he is desperate for a caution. He's got to do everything he can. He's got about 20 to 30 laps here to hope for a caution. And now Rachel Hunt goes to the top, but she's all alone. No friends for Rachel, Jared.
And she might be just trying to get out of this. I'm not sure.
She
might
may be.
It's hard to say.
I mean, that's what I'd be doing. I'd say, I've seen enough. I'm going on the back.
Yeah, there's an opportunity right there for her to get down, and I don't think she's really wanting to get down there, but it looks like that Michael Walker's going to insist.
Ladies first, says Michael Walker. So Rachel back. Oh, and a wobble from Bernard Person. So these cars are wobbling around, Jared.
Yeah, it just gets on the right rear so hard at this track because of just the aerodynamic challenges that this vehicle has in general.
And now Rachel goes back to the high side. What is going on? Helm bobbling. We're on board with Eric Beller. It looks nuts.
Yeah, this is a lot of bouncing. It's a hot track. I mean, we're up to 45 degrees centigrade. So what's that? 115, 20?
Sure.
So yeah.
We check in on the weather. 113 track temp right now, Jared.
So there you go. I mean, that's pretty slick for Talladega.
It absolutely is, and these cars are showing it. A ton of movement as we ride with Corey Buskirk right now in the middle lane. Rachel's still trying to go to the back desperately, and she will now as finally people let her fade to the back.
He's going to drop in there behind Buskirk.
I mean, it's been great from the booth so far, Jared. These guys have really given us a race worth commentating on. 3 wide, lots of fighting, no single file action, just a little group at the back, and that's all strategy.
Yeah, Greg Ratliff, one of those guys back there. Greg, very conservative in these type of races. I mean, we've seen it before at Daytona and Talladega, and you know what? He ended up winning or coming close to winning if he didn't win at Daytona in the main season earlier back in February, if I'm not mistaken. So sometimes you just got to be in the right place at the right time.
Absolutely. Michael Walker, he is up there, third on the high side. Bernard Person goes to the bottom in front of Ripka. That leaves Helm leading the outside with Walker the second pushing. And you can see McCanny, Ripka came down behind Bernard Person, so now McCanny and Maurer have been shuffled to third and fourth on the inside lane.
Yeah, and Randy, I don't think he expected them to make that big move there.
Yeah, I doubt that he did. I mean, it's early, they're racing. I'm loving it. I can't believe there hasn't been a wreck. We've had a couple opportunities for one. And wow, Klaus Williams all alone heads on to pit road. No, he's got company.
He's wrecking on pit road, Dean.
Oh no, Klaus Williams, Beller, both wrecking. Beller comes down and gets Jackson. Jackson turned. Oh, the humanity.
Yeah,
Craziness on pit road. And almost more carnage as Beller drives through a couple of cars there. Wow.
Yeah, and that's going to kill that group. I mean, that group is DOA now.
Well, they got in early. They're going to have to make it up. So lap 31, these cars come in. Big question is, can anybody make it to lap 45? I'm thinking no way, but you never know. We're wrong so often in the booth, Jared. At least I am.
Well, they're going to get 3 guys off pit road together. Wrecker, Dibble, Wrecker, Ratliff, and Gilly are going to come off relatively in sync. TJ Rogers 4 seconds ahead. Dibble about 2 seconds behind. So I don't know if they'll be able to all get together, but if they can get these 3 guys going, they'll probably catch TJ and be okay.
So how did TJ Rogers get so far ahead of everybody here, Jared? Are we looking at two tires versus many tires? I mean, Rogers was a 9.5 stop. Everybody else with a 4-tire stop, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's 4 tires, but Rogers may not have even taken tires, period. I think he might have just topped off the field. It doesn't save you a whole lot of time, but he also got the benefit of getting around that wreck. He didn't have to check up for it. So that's the other thing.
The good planning here, Jared, is what's necessary. With only a 30-lap run, we're going to assume the car can do over 40 laps. You only need 3/4 of a tank of gas for a run. So some of these guys come in and took a full pit stop, probably based on a full tank of gas. Rogers did the math, maybe got out a little earlier. I don't know, but that group's in a lot of trouble.
Dibble gets caught by the main pack, so he'll shuffle back in. He'll be our first car 1 lap down. Jackson, with that damage, he had to take all 4 tires. He is back out well off the pace, though. Beller also off the pace. Klaus Williams off the pace as well. I mean, tough break for those guys, especially Klaus, who was leading some of the laps. Beller won back in Daytona in February, so, I mean, it's tough for him. I know he was expecting to come out here and have a good race, but we'll see how the race cycles through. Still a lot of laps to go, Dean.
Yeah, you see Jackson. There's Beller. Dibble's still in the group here. Klaus Williams. I mean, it's bad news for a lot of these guys. Right now, Bernard Persson out front leading this thing. Lance Ripka right behind him on the bottom. It's Helm and Walker the second on the high side. Reiner looks like he's finally coming up here ready to get racing.
And this main group, it has all the guys that were off the back are the guys that pitted on lap 30, which I find very interesting because they can't make it 60 laps, obviously, on gas. I would have figured they would have had the most fuel and the most desire to last long as Helm.
Helm with a move. And that's a move because they want to pit, Jared. I almost guarantee you they're getting lined up and ready to come in here. Next time by, expect Helm, expect the Spear group to head on to pit road.
That second group has gotten organized with 5 cars, so they are starting to, the gap is starting to equalize between the second group and the main group. If that second group can just stay ahead of this main group before they pit, they should be okay.
And they got Greg Ratliff there pushing the Toad Man and Rogers in this group. They've got to tighten up. The Toad Man is leaving a big gap here. This is going to slow this group down. There's no doubt about that. I mean, you can't push the pusher, but you got to be up on them, don't you, Jared?
You got to air push them, yes, absolutely. Got to be a little bit closer if you're Todd Gilly. But I'll tell you what that was going on. Bryce Reiner pushes Michael Walker up to the front. He might lead this lap. He does lead this lap at the line.
So Reiner and Walker. Walker, your new race leader. How about that? They were up here. They were back. At least Reiner was at the back. Now at the front. Things are getting nutty out here.
Our 2 point leaders, or 2 guys that have been kind of dominating the points right now, Reiner and Leo, nose to tail on that second line, not letting each other get out of each other's sights.
This is a very interesting race. You got different groups, some of them broken up here, and you know what we thought were pit stops, and here they come. So Helm, Maurer, you got Bernard Persson. It looks like Randy McCanny, Rachel Hunt in this group. Fleming's in this group. They get in clean, Jared.
Very clean. I mean, this is a group that's used to doing this together mostly, so not surprising.
No, it's not, but that's what we talk about, right? This is key. We've seen our keys to the race really come into play here. First pit stop, maybe a bit of a surprise. They're back there saving. They abort the save. Maybe a last-minute decision. People not quite ready or focused enough, they wipe out. Second group comes in nice and clean. Here comes Person. Him and Helm going to come out side by side. McCanny right there. Mauer's there. Fleming. And Hunt tagging in there. Looks like, I'm not sure who's at the back there.
Fred Lester is at
That's
the very
Lester
back
there. So Lester a lap down. Other guys coming in. Oh no! Brantley has gone around the cone, and it looks like Reiner had a bit of an issue. I don't know if he got inside the cone. And now they're coming into the stalls and almost wrecking. Reiner and Paul K. Travis almost came together.
Yeah, Reiner, I don't think hit the cone. I think he's going to be okay, but it is tight. Brantley will definitely get a penalty.
So now we got a 4-car pack, 3 guys on the lead lap. Ripka, Abear, and Walker. They got George Dibble with them. He is a lap down. Expect these guys to come in. Let's go on board with Michael Walker.
Reiner and Brantley, both penalties, huge there in the points championship battle, as Reiner will be stuck on pit road for a little bit longer, Dean.
So they come in, a little bit of a wiggle from Walker, but they look clean. These 3 get on pit road okay. And I'm sorry, the penalty was on whom?
Bryce Reiner, penalty for unsafe entry.
And it was,
Brantley.
that's so unfortunate. I don't think it was his doing. I'm not sure about that, but a bit of a cluster, if you will, Jared.
Absolutely. Looks like we got Adam Newton has joined us from pit road.
All right, joined by the Bulldog, who went up in smoke earlier on here. Adam, early trouble blowing the engine. Tell us what happened.
Went 2 degrees over. No warning, no nothing. She just went.
Well, that can happen, there's no doubt. Probably shouldn't have, but very unfortunate. Your loss is our gain, Newton. You're up in the booth now. We got Leal and Travis. We got the group with a Person leading a group to come up, and we got a few others still in this that just came off of pit road. So we're going to see how they go. What are your thoughts here so far, Adam?
It's real hard to pass, and unlike Daytona when we ran last week, or the week before last, it's kind of shaking things up some.
So Abear leading a 4-car pack. There's about 8 cars behind them, and they're all trying to get the main group, who doesn't look overly organized. I think we're going to see, Jared, the concertina effect here shortly.
Yeah, these guys are all kind of going to come back together here probably within the next 5 or so laps for the most part, maybe a little bit quicker than that. But it's going to be interesting to see how these guys kind of attack the second group. Nobody able to stretch it to go do this on one stop, so it is going to be a 2-stop race here tonight. And that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, we were short on gas for sure. I was kind of surprised on that. Nobody can really do, 43, 44 laps like we were thinking.
Yeah, and that usually the practice. I mean, you're racing hard out there, Adam. 3 wide, guys are putting it down. Was that kind of part of the plan? Like, I don't want a fuel mileage race. Let's push the pace.
Yeah, a lot of the guys, and especially in our group, we wanted to shake some things up and let's get moving. And that's kind of why we got on the outside when I blew up. And, it's, just riding is kind of boring. So it made a little bit of fun for a little while.
Well, it certainly did. There's no doubt. I'm trying to find some paint jobs out here to test the 2 great guys in the booth who have all this knowledge. We got Jared Carr and Adam Newton, 2 historians of NASCAR. I mean, my goodness, I could ask them about any car. Matter of fact, in the chat and YouTube, throw up a car number, throw up a paint job, see if these 2 fine men can figure out who drove it and when. I bet they can.
And we'll see. I mean, there's some stumpers out there for sure, but some great paints in general.
I got to tell you, Jared, what I think of your knowledge and how great it is on the history. Well, we were putting Newton, the Bulldog here, Mr. Bulldog, we'll call him, to the test last night. And I got to tell you, I don't know who knows more, you or him.
Yeah, I mean, it could be him. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good NASCAR history out there for sure.
Absolutely. We all know about that Budweiser machine currently in third. Bernard Person driving that, a familiar Dale Jr. machine. But out front, James Herbert. How about that, Mr. Newton? Herbert winning last week, out here leading tonight.
Yeah, he's making the right moves right now, but I think some guys are playing some more gas strategy to see if they can short pit, is what I'm looking at with the single file line.
Well, what do you think the official let's go as hard as we can fuel mileage would be?
I was estimating 28 to 30 and let it rip.
That's
but you gotta,
the tank would one dry at 28 or 30?
Actually, it was running a little bit on the shy side for a couple guys, but yeah, we had to save to get to 34, 35. And if the guys that didn't save anything, they were struggling.
I mean, I thought I heard talk of people trying to do 40 to 45, maybe a one-stopper here.
Yeah, if you're doing a one-stopper, you're saving like crazy. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that it was 30 to 35. I was really surprised to hear 40 to 45, but.
Well, see, the knowledge here, the two knowledge guys agree, and the mid-30s is probably where you're going to be. So look for stops. We do a little math. That's always scary around here. But maybe, say, lap 55 would be your first opportunity, Adam? With like 35 to go?
Yeah, somebody's going to try it. That's for sure. If I wanted to get out front and stay out front, I would try it.
Okay, you heard him here, Jared. So look for someone to try between, lap 55 to 57, maybe. Someone comes in. And, I mean, the short pit on the super speedway, Jared, I mean, it's very effective, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the quickest way. But, you have to have a group of guys that can get on and off pit road, right? And the shorter you go, the less drivers you really should have with you. If you start getting 5, 6, 7, it starts to kind of break down. But you get 4 guys that can short pit early. I mean, it is a brutal strategy to overcome.
All right, well, let's kind of recap where we're at here. 16 cars in the main pack. TJ Rogers, last driver there. You got Jacob Musial and George Dibble trying desperately to hang on, about 20 seconds back. Jason Brantley he is in the main pack, but he's officially a lap down here. Him, Reiner, Jackson, Lester, all in this pack. Claus Williams is here, Beller is here. So all those guys are with the main group, but a lap down, they need a caution quite desperately.
Yeah, and they all are kind of battling their own race too, right? They want to be the first car one lap down in case the caution comes out. But unfortunately, where they're all running, you see Brantley, you see Reiner, you see Jackson, they are kind of in the hornet's nest of where a wreck could happen. So getting through this, getting the lucky dog, is going to be difficult for all these guys trying to get that lap back, because all the lap cars are all lined up on that outside for the most part.
All right, things starting to heat up once again here as some of these lap cars maybe trying to get it back the old-fashioned way. As we see the bald head of one of these fans here, we're on the old fan cam. Always love looking around at all the interesting people out here watching.
Were you greeted by anybody coming into the track today, Dean?
I felt safer today. There was no posse waiting at the gates for me, Jared.
All right, good. I'm just making sure,
Still seeing some bobbing and weaving, in particular on that low line. Adam, how turbulent is the car out there?
It was pretty bad, especially if you got someone side rafting you real good. It really upset the balance. But, you see these guys, they're not really doing much side drafting because the guys behind them, even if they're not pushing, they're overheating their cars. They need a little bit of an adjustment on that, but you just can't let that run.
Sorry, Corey Buskirk pushed Walker to the lead and then just pushed him out of the way right there, for lack of a better word. I mean, my goodness, he was shoving him and Walker couldn't hold it down there.
How about that? Corey Buskirk says, let me to the front. Watch out. I love it. The 99 out here playing to win here tonight.
Yeah, he hasn't led a lap yet, but Walker's trying to get back up there. But if Buskirk is able to stay in front for here, he will get his first laps led of the season.
Awesome job by him. Walker the second on the outside with Brantley a lap down and others up there trying to push him up here, trying to get him to get up there and drop down to that inside. What an intriguing race we've had so far. I mean, Adam, like, how crushed are you? I mean, I don't want to really make you feel that way, but I mean, you were so good on these super speedways. Is this a big blow to you here?
Very disappointing. I mean, I did, some runs and stuff, and the car didn't heat up like it did, but, nobody really took it 3 wide for a while, and I was able to push Randy out front no problem, and it didn't overheat. So, yeah, I'm kind of a little frustrated with that. Hopefully they'll work on that a little bit, maybe for speed weeks, and get that fixed.
All right, we ride on board with Randy McCanny right beside the Alive Church machine of Paul Kay. You can see in front of McCanny the 78. That's Lester. That car looked like it's yawing out on entry. Well, what is causing this, Jared?
Well, it's just that aerodynamic change as the run goes on. And we talked about earlier with the fuel burns out, the rear end raises up, gets outside that aerodynamic box, and the car just kind of starts weeble wobbling around. And the different set of tires that this car has. And we also don't know if Lester filled up the tank. He could have short fueled it or something like that too. But that car very much flighty. And some of that can be controlled by the steering ratio and the steering offset a little bit to make it a little bit more manageable in a fixed setup. But whatever settings he has, I don't think it's agreeing with him right now.
Yeah, we look over in YouTube land and Facebook. Nobody ready to try and stump our two great guys here. I don't know. We don't have a name for it yet. Stump the NASCAR icons here or something.
Reminds me of Stump the Swami.
Yeah, well, that's where I was going with it, but I don't have a name. I mean, I love Stump the Swami.
It was great. It was a great show. I used to come home from school and watch that.
Oh, one of the best, no doubt about it. Michael Walker now to the front. So he's on the outside, but he's leading this thing. Buskirk battling back on the inside. Hebert and Brantley in the second rows. Ripka, who's been here all night. I mean, Ripka's been quiet, right, Jared? I mean, he hasn't done anything. We haven't, oh, wow, like, watch what happened to him or anything. Very steady. The machine looks solid. How about the 52?
Well, I mean, he was leading that middle groove with Rachel Hunt most of the beginning of the race, right? So, Brantley pushing Lester up the track just a little bit. Sorry there. But the third line is coming, and they're still weeble wobbling through the corner.
Yeah, this is getting dangerous now. The high side starting to come up and battle here. I think that's Lester leading that thing, is it not?
It is Fred Lester. He's trying to get that lap back. Brantley sliding up the track,
no!
Fleming into the wall.
Fleming, the 90, looked like he was about to turn down into the field, but he saves it. So hard to get it organized up there. Both the middle and the high side disorganized, unable to get where they want to go. Lester still trying with Mauer's help. The middle dying. Lester could come down. I'm not sure he wants to.
Mauer pushing hard there, trying to get to the lead. Lester trying to get back into the front to get the lap back, and he's just stalling out there. Middle groove coming forward again.
Unbelievable what we've been watching. More 3-wide action than we've expected. Lap 53 of 90. The pit window just about ready to open up. Who will take it? Who will try the short pit? How about your teammates, Adam? How about, you got any intel coming out of the Spear camp?
Not really. I think some guys are kind of getting a little frustrated by the guys saving a little bit of gas, but it's typical at this point of the race. You got to make a decision now if you're going to short pit or you're gonna ride it out. But yeah, it sounds like some of them are frustrated at the minute.
All right. The Bulldog himself sounding a little dejected here and not meant to be here in the Alive Church Talladega 225. Corey Buskirk still leading this thing with Bear, last week's winner, right behind him. The middle line, Brantley starting to give a good push to Walker the second. Maurer back on the bumper of Lester up high.
Yeah, just disorganized right now. The second and third lanes just disorganized. Reiner's not up here pushing. Now Bauer abandons Lester there on the third lane. Brantley slides up in front of Lester. That's not, almost didn't work.
Wow. Crazy happenings here. They don't know if they want the high side or the middle. It's getting crazy. They're turned. They're wrecking. Oh, no. This is a big one. They're all getting hammered now. Some guys will be happy with the caution. Others destroyed. Night over.
Oh, and Ripka just got destroyed. Arca braked there a little bit. My goodness. The wreck's already happening, folks. You got to slow down.
Oh.
I saw that one coming. Once Fred came down, it was like they were checking up, trying to save too much gas. You can't do that up front.
So you see here, up front, everything already starting here on the replay. We're trying to get up there and have a better look at it. And you see the front pusher. We go to quarter speed here. And they try to slide down to a lane they abandoned, turn themselves on the nose of someone, turn Buskirk, the leader, who gets Walker, the leader of the outside lane, and it just gets crazier and crazier. And down on the racing, off the racing surface, they're trying to slow up. Person gets turned, he hits the wall, Helm hits the wall. I mean, the carnage.
Innocent mistake of not being clear.
And let's look at the Toad Man here, trying to get through here desperately. Hard on the brakes. He avoids Person. He avoids Wrecker. So Person gets through. The 16 of Williams looks like he gets through, but not many have. Oh, and Ripka takes a second lick there. Oh, and Rogers late. And no, the Toad Man, I thought he was through right into Rogers. Why is he not stopped at this point? I do not know.
Yeah, a lot of Arca braking going on there. But I'll tell you a guy that broke early and avoided all this, Eric Beller. He slammed the brakes down and stopped on the track, and I think he's going to get the lucky dog out of this, and he might be the only car without any damage.
Well, let's go back then. I want to see, because I want to show what should be done. Here's Beller. This is live time. The back, he sees the wreck happening, hits the brakes, and you see the cars in front of him continue into the pile, and he locks them down. He loses a little bit, but he keeps it under control, and the whole track is cleared off for him, and he just walks through now.
Look like Rachel Hunt, Nate Beller, and one other car got through unscathed.
All right, so pit stops commencing here.
And that's the thing. You know, when you have a wreck at the front of the field, it's really hard to escape being involved in the wreck, and that just took everybody out. I think Klaus Williams did get through there unscathed too, but he'll be a lap down. He might take a wave or something like that, but man, that's tough.
So tough. You've seen Bear and Leal come out. Paul K came off a pit road as well. There's Hunt and Fleming. Dibble coming off. You got Musial, Helm. Helm's still on pit road. Mauer's still there. Wrecker. Klaus Williams coming around the track. Brantley is still out here. I don't know if he is pitted quite yet. He has not pitted, so he is just getting his lap back, I believe. Reiner right there as well. Both those guys pitted on lap 37. So much going on here. So many cars trying to get repairs. There's Klaus Williams coming down pit road right now. This thing has been flipped on its head quite literally. I don't know if I seen anybody go on their head down there, Jared, but there could have been.
Yeah, right now, Greg Ratliff, I think he got through fine. He's gotten only a 21-second pit stop there. A Bear, not a bad pit stop. Leo, Travis, Hunt, Fleming, Dibble, okay. Musial, I think, got through fine. Klaus Williams will get back on the lead lap, as I think Eric Beller as well will get back on the lead lap as well.
So Brace Reiner in our chat says Klaus is lucky dog, and Brantley got the wave around.
And Brantley going to take a wave around here, it looks like. He hasn't taken it yet.
Yeah. Looks like Greg Ratliff on pit road right now.
I guess Reiner probably going to take a wave around too. He's ahead of the leader.
So you see A Bear, he is our leader right now. There's George Leal. Looks like Beller's still trapped a lap down. I'm a little surprised about that.
Yeah, he didn't take the wave, so he had to. So he was the lucky, wasn't in the lucky dog spot. Thought Klaus Williams got damage out of that, but he actually scooted around the grass. I went back and looked, and he just basically avoided everything driving through the grass.
Crazy stuff here. Adam, what do you think about what you saw here? This just hard racing part of the deal here at Talladega?
Just part of the deal here. I mean, you know, it's bound to happen. It's not when, it's if.
It's not if, it's when, yes.
Yeah, if, when, whatever. Yeah, my frustration continues. But yeah, it's going to happen. That's how plate racing is, and now it's just going to you got to find a friend to get to the end of the race to make it to the checkered flag.
There's Brantley and Reiner. They might be friends now as they come around. They'll put 14 cars on the lead lap. You got Wrecker on pit road. He is coming off right now. I think he's still going to be on the lead lap. And then you got Beller is 16th. He'll be a lap down. Person out of this thing. McCanny's out of this thing. So we've got several drivers out of the race. We've got about 16 drivers remaining in this thing. Lap 58 of 90. Gas should not be an issue. James Hebert looking to go 2 in a row as the pace car comes off the track.
Brian Helm going to go down pit road as with the pace car, so not sure what happened there, but Brian Helm on pit road.
All right, Helm takes to pit road,
Green.
and green flag drops. James Hebert on the inside. Paul K. Travis behind him. You got Leal and Hunt on the high side. And wow, I gotta catch my breath. That was one insane little wreck there, or big wreck, I should say.
And the thing is, it took out almost all the players we talked about. Bernard Person, Randy McCanny was up front. Lance Ripka, Michael Walker, Buskirk that was up there for a little bit. All are gone. And now we have a bunch of new players, including our point leader, George Leal, getting pushed to the front by Rachel Hunt.
So does this give credence to the theory that you should hang around at the back early on, or not?
I mean, you know, that wreck happened at the front on lap 40 or lap 55, right? I don't know.
I mean, let's just say this, Jared. My hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish there's the best way to race these things, but I always say, you need to be the danger and not be in the danger.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there was years and years I screamed at people for riding around the back and saying, you got to be at the front to be in these things and race these things. The older I get, I just don't have the heart for it, dude.
How about George Dibble up here, moving up on the outside? He's going to have help from Eric Beller, maybe Klaus Williams and Greg Ratliff. But the thing that I'm going to tell you, Dean, is there's only 16 cars, and there's only 14 of them on the lead lap. Actually, there's only 14 cars in this main group because Helm dropped off. So, I mean, that's going to be harder to get a run now. at the end of this race. I mean, you're gonna really have to develop these runs a little bit more prudently.
Yeah, it's a totally different race at this time. And now it's just about being in position to strike at the end, Jared. I mean, I'll go to Adam for this. Adam, where outside of being the first 2 or 3 cars, how do you want to position yourself as this thing plays out?
With
Well, I
somebody
think.
that's fast
Go
and a
ahead.
good pusher.
There you go.
I don't care where it is. I want somebody that can push, that I can trust. You gotta have that trust.
Well, that's a great point, isn't it, Jared?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I can't really add anything else to that, really.
Yeah, and I mean in a smaller pack like this, right? 14 lead cars, you can literally be 13th and 14th as long as you got the right person with you. You can take this thing 3 wide at any point. I mean, unless they clog it up and go 3 wide right now and just clog those lanes up.
Right now, Bear up to the top and Veller dropping to the back. Probably a wise decision. I mean, if you get another wreck, you can, probably get your lap back there. But, Dean, I was thinking here, looking at this list, Bryce Reiner and Jason Brantley both took the waiver out. So they did not top off fuel, Dean. So they need a caution to make it to the end of this race, because otherwise they will have to pit, and that will be race done for them.
Yeah, and they're in a no-win situation, right? I think they had to try and get their lap back. If they have to, they pit under green. They're right back where they were. It's really no harm, no foul. So I like the call, but I doubt they're going to get the caution they need. Or if they do, it might be in those last couple laps, and that's sometimes how long you have to wait. Is Maurer getting pinched by Ratliff? Ratliff not giving any room. Maurer's in the wall, and now Ratliff is wrecked. You can see it happening. I don't know if there's a visual problem there or what.
Wow, what in the world happened there?
He just would not give Maurer the outside lane. Maurer's got to be beside himself here. A very, very strange wreck.
Here's what I'll say. Single monitors definitely reduce your vision, and that's the only thing I could say could have happened there. Very surprising.
I agree, but you got to be able to hear that engine. I'm a single monitor guy, Jared. I can hear that engine. Nonetheless, I think you're right. This is a visual problem. We back it up just a little bit here, and Adam, maybe he can talk. It says Maurer is just slightly behind Greg Ratliff right now. We go quarter speed here. He's starting to come around the outside. What did you see?
It's almost like, I mean, I agree definitely with what Jared was just saying about the visual aspect of it. I never want to say netcode. I hate that word. But it was almost like they got glued together.
Very, very strange to be certain. I mean, I just don't know why Greg wasn't coming down at all. He might have thought someone was under him, and he actually drifted straight up. You're right, almost like they were glued together. Very, very odd wreck. I mean, there was no racing to be had. There was room all over the track. I for the life of me, don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I'm going to give Greg the benefit of the doubt. We he's a clean racer.
We should, for sure.
So, I don't want to, say anything negative there, but it's definitely an unfortunate situation, and it's tough to see Maurer get that damage because he was a really strong car tonight. But that does help out Bryce Reiner. It does help out Brantley. It does help out Beller at the end of the day.
Yeah, looking on the
and we
onboard,
have people on pit road right now. Go ahead.
The onboard did something that I've seen a couple times this week since the new update, and somebody was saying that there is a small adjustment even to the other wheels. There is a dead zone now that's showing up since the update, and when you look at his wheel, it just looks like it's not turning.
Yeah, well, we might have a chance. Matter of fact, I think we've got time. We'll go back and look at that right now as those lap cars got their lap back, and they're now on pit road.
It's just for a split second. It just looked, I mean, because He's really smooth, like he normally is, and the wheel's there, but it just looks like the wheel just has a little bit of dead zone, and he can't get off Nate. I mean, and a lot of people, we had that in Friday night race, which was very frustrating.
Here
But
we go at a quarter speed. So he looks like he's underneath Dibble here. Dibble's up, approaching the right sides on the line there. And Greg is turning, and the car continues to fade. We don't see the wheel. I don't think we get an accurate representation of his wheel, or maybe we do. It's hard to say. But he's just fading up there. I don't think he knows there's a car there. It's just an instinct. I don't think he knows the car is up there at all. You can't see it. You can't see it in the mirror. He can't see it. And the next thing you know, he's pushing them into the wall and they're going around. But I take your assessment too, Adam, and yours, Jared, that something else seems to be at play here.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate. Regardless, no matter how you want to slice it up, it's a tough break. Maurer did get his damage fixed for the most part, or he's getting it fixed. Ratliff retired. He's out of the race. And that's going to leave us down to, it looks like 14 cars, I believe.
Yeah, this went from one of the cleanest, best races we've seen to now carnage on the track. And maybe the question should be asked, is there anybody out here looking for a first-time win? We got Hebert looking to establish himself, making it 2 in a row. We got points leader George Leal up here. Rachel Hunt perhaps looking for her first race win. What do you think, Jared?
I think all of them have a shot. Rachel is a pretty adept plate racer, so I wouldn't be surprised to see her up here. James Bear has done fairly decent on these plate races. We've talked about Eric Beller winning a plate race last year. We've talked about Nathan Maurer winning a plate race last year. But I like to hitch my wagon to some guys that they get these opportunities and they run with them. And I want to point out some guys like George Dibble and Paul K. Travis. I think this could be a day they punch their ticket to their first win of the year.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was looking too. Behind him, you got the Toad Man. The Toad Man's got damage though, and that goes back to when we were talking with Adam about finding someone to run with. I don't think the Toad Man with that damage on the front, I don't think you want to be pushing him, although the car's got a little bit of repairs done on it. But yeah, Dibble and Travis and Michael Fleming right there, Jacob Musial, you got Brantley. A lot of guys potentially could get their first win tonight. The guys up front going to have something to say about that, though.
Well, we might still be good for another caution. I don't think we're done yet.
Yeah, well, that's a great point. These cars are moving around a bit, and I think you're absolutely right. I think we'll see some, a little bit of casual racing here for a little bit, but when you get down inside of 10 to go, things are going to heat up in a hurry. Pace car off the track. We're ready to go back racing in the Alive Church Talladega 225. Feel fully alive. Leal crawling down into the Geico zone, and he's gone. He's alone, though. That could be problematic for the 51. He slides up, and that's smart, trying to cut off that run on the outside.
Yeah, you got to make sure you block those lines. But, if I'm George Leal, I'm just trying to survive to the end. Oh, Bear to the outside. Big move from the 25 machine. He's going to get a big run.
He's going to get a run, but he's got no help and maybe no momentum here as Hunt comes in behind Leal. Oh, and now, look at this. Claus Williams to the outside. Williams wants the lead. They leave. They hang Hebert out in the middle.
And he got Dibble and Fleming. We got 3 guys that haven't won. I don't think Klaus has won in the Xfinity Series, definitely in the Truck Series, but I don't think any of these guys have ever won the Xfinity Series, and they're linking together trying to get to the front.
I love it. Right back to racing. Here we go. Williams, Dibble, Fleming, Hebert all on the outside. Leal, Hunt, and Paul K on the inside.
And there goes Nathan Maurer to the outside, trying to make it 3 wide. And he's going to have Brantley possibly with him, Beller possibly with him. Neither really 100% committed.
No, but they look like they are. They're just going to take a lap or two to get wound up. And wow, up to the high side goes Dibble. That Williams slides up there. I don't know. Is that a block there?
I believe so. I think he saw that momentum coming. Dibble down there. He's going to have Fleming inside of. He can't go down. Williams is going to go down. No, he's going to stay with Dibble, trying to block that momentum. He's going to be in the middle of a problem if he doesn't be careful here.
Fleming with a masterful job of modulating the throttle and not wrecking everybody there. He was stuck in the middle, almost 4 wide at one time. My goodness, 22 to go.
Hunt trying to shove Leo, the point leader there. Reiner, our second place in points man, left for dead at one point in time in this race. He's in this middle of this pack as well, but he is losing points to our point leader. Klaus Williams slides up in front of Dibble. Maurer slides down behind Fleming.
Wow, dangerous moves everywhere. Nobody holding back. Adam, can you believe what you're seeing?
I think Newton's right here.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at this. Normally their ammo is the let's ride and take it easy, guys, and I kind of like this out of them.
This is fantastic stuff. Unbelievable action here tonight in the Alive Church Xfinity Series.
A little bit of shake and bake.
Okay, so I'm going to dial up the shake and bake. I'll be waiting for that move.
Yeah, and I think these guys are like, hey, man, there's only 14 of us, and Todd Gilly with that damage is barely hanging on the back of this thing. So really, there's only 13 of us. Out of this group, only Leo, Maurer, and Bear have won.
Brantley slides up to the outside there. It looked like Beller might have came with him, but there was no room. So now you got 4 on the high side. Wow.
Only 3 winners in this group, Dean. I mean, these guys are just getting aggressive. They want to win, I think, Dean.
Well, not only that, like you go back to last week, Jared, right? James Bear had to wheel that machine for 10 laps at the end to hold off Bryce Reiner. I mean, it was an incredible run for Bear against a driver who was, a seasoned guy who's got a lot of wins, and he did that. And I think some of these guys seen it and said, hey, there's 20 to go here, and I can get a victory. I'm going.
Fleming trying to side draft Leo. He's going to get a big run off that corner. He does. Maurer right with him, kind of air push him right now. Down, gets to his bumper a little bit. That's going to bring Beller and Reiner with him. Oh, and Leo got loose.
Leo got loose. Hunt chased him down there. And all of a sudden, Fleming and Maurer jumped down to the bottom. Michael Fleming, new race leader.
And I might have missed them, but I think that's our 22nd lead change of the night, Dean.
At least. There's no doubt about it. So Fleming down on the bottom now. Here comes Beller, who we thought was out of it. He was involved with some kind of early problem. I can't even remember at this point, Jared.
Beating unsafe entry on pit road.
I've got a NASCAR question that's going to pop up.
All right, question
Michael
from the Bulldog.
Fleming's car looks like what famous NASCAR that was ran in the Cup Series, Jarrett?
I mean, it's the Gray Ghost, Buddy Baker.
That's correct.
Well, there you go. From one aficionado to another. Oh,
Dibble's
Dibble's in the wall and loose. He hangs on. Holy smokes.
I think the guy that's in the safest spot is Todd Gilly back there.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
If there's a wreck, he's going to be the guy that's going to slide through there, no problem.
It could be. It could be the Toad Man's night. Who knows? I mean, this is unbelievable. What I'm noticing, Adam, is up on that high side, we've seen several people get up there and kind of push into the wall with, nobody around them really. There's no reason for it or anything. Is that what we've seen with that wreck that we just witnessed? Is there something going on in that third lane?
It's the air disturbance and you're overheating. So that's the other part, like what Jared was saying earlier. The cars with this new package, they're swerving more, but you still got to keep the left out of the, out of the restricted air to get, the water cooled down, because the oil isn't a problem in these cars. And that's what's causing a problem right now.
Oh, Claus Williams trying to slide down the middle as Adam Newton explains these cars to us in excellent fashion. I mean, doubling up on you, Jared. I mean, blessed to have the both of yous up here explaining these things. Beller trying to take the lead here with a little help from Reiner. How about Bryce Reiner? Last week, Jared, getting beat. He's up here with an opportunity. He was a lap down, as was Beller at one point.
Yeah, and really he needs to finish ahead of Leo. He needs the points on Leo, so he's got to get aggressive. He might not get the win tonight because he did get a little damage off that Ratliff Maurer wreck, but you know, he's got to get points on Leo, and this is a great race to do it. But unfortunately, Leo is also doing good. Williams pops to the outside on Brantley.
Claus Williams goes up there. Musial jumps up there with Wrecker. So we got 3 cars up on the high side. Reiner jumps up. Now Beller left all alone. Brantley trying to chase up the middle to get to him.
And Dibble and a Bear jump up too, so they're going to sucker hole Eric Beller and Brantley.
That's just wild. The lane choice tonight has just been crazy as people choose the high side over the middle, over the bottom. I don't know what's going on.
Well, you know, unlike years past,
right.
you could get that monster run on the third lane, and with the update, you're not able to get, you know, completely clear. The lower line has the, you know, best run right now, in my opinion.
Now, let me ask you something, Adam. You're out there as Brantley comes around on the high side here, trying to get that line formed up and organized. I mean, you're coming down to the end of the race now. How cool do you want to cool down your engine, and how long can you fully push a great pusher right on the bumper? How long can you go before blowing your engine?
Lap and a half.
Lap and a half. That's max, or?
That was max, and I mean, it was, you saw what happened to me, and I had no warning. If you give it 8 to 10 inches off the back bumper and kind of let it out to 75%, you might can do 4 laps, 5 laps.
So, Jared, with those being on the table, those 2 choices, I mean, what do you do here when it comes down to 5 to go? Do you back her down a bit and wait for 3 to go, or 1 to go, or what's your choice?
Yeah, I think you have to start developing the momentum around like 7 to go. Like, you know, you can't wait until 5 to go if you need to make a third lane happen. So, but you can't shove somebody until probably, you know, 2 laps to go. You just got to get that momentum built up just a little bit. And there's ways to push people without blowing the engine up too. I mean, at the end of the race, you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to push hard as you can, right? But there are ways, like during this part of the race, where you can get guys out front without really shoving them, especially if you're at the bottom of the middle lanes.
All right. I mean, I'm not sure you really answered there, Jared, but we'll take the expertise nonetheless. So I choose all options.
Hey, I mean, you know, I'm in the booth. I don't have to choose.
That's exactly correct. So we're up here in the booth watching one of the best super speedway races we've done in a while. Lots of 3 wide action. Now it's Claus Williams in the middle, Fleming on the bottom, and up top, Jason Brantley. So we got action, 13 to go, and this thing is just going to only get hotter from here.
Continuing to battle. And the bottom, Michael Fleming, really, that group is starting to really kind of organize. But we basically, you know, the bottom line has the least amount of cars. And that's always makes this really difficult because the bottom line now has to work harder to keep the momentum off.
Looks like Paul K catches a little bit of the wall, maybe. Hard to say. But that high line, I still say it's too difficult to drive, too difficult to organize. I might try and push myself in between the middle and the bottom and shoot that gap. I don't know.
The one I see in the catbird seat, and he's just setting it up. Well, Adam Recker just made a move. I thought Eric Beller has a really good spot right now to shake it up.
Yeah, I think anybody in this pack, actually, I mean, if you're at the very back, obviously that's the hardest, but there is openings. This is Talladega, Adam. I mean, you can go 4 wide here, can you not?
Oh yeah, we did it earlier. we tried it one time and it worked.
All
Look
right.
at this group. I mean, Klaus Williams, his best ever finish in the Sunday night Xfinity Series, Dean, was second place back at Talladega back in October. So, you know, he knows how to get around here. And Brantley, into the wall, he's going to might lose the pack.
Right on board with James Herbert here. Herbert takes a peek to the middle. There's not much room there, but he fits it in. Oh boy.
Does he? Does he fit it in?
I think so.
Yeah, he does. Wow.
I mean, that was scary on board, and you can see what they're dealing with doing. Let's take a look at the dashboard. 188 miles an hour. Well, 87, I guess, was the top we hit there.
So he shoves underneath Dibble and then uses Dibble to push him to the front. What a move by James Herbert.
We hit 190 there. Herbert making moves. He is going for it. He went for it last week, and you heard him in the interview. What were your thoughts during that last run, which was about 10 laps? And he said aggression, aggression, aggression. I mean, we're going to see more of it here tonight, Jared.
You know, I do have a question about that. Jared, did you receive your check?
No. Yeah, it just cashed the other day.
I'm not sure what that refers to, but you two know. We'll leave it at that.
I believe you owed him a check from last week on it.
Oh, that! I just sent back the check that he had to send me for the last time. That's nothing.
I knew what it was. I definitely didn't forget.
Yeah, I fired Dean as my crew chief over that one.
Well, I did say, don't pit with 20 to go at Phoenix. Adam Newton, the only guy not to pit, and he was a sitting duck, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that one, Mr. Newton.
Looks like we got a lap car ahead that's going to play into this mix here in a minute.
Jacob Musial has come out of nowhere. He is actually on the lead lap, but he has not been in this pack at all. So I don't know where he was and where he came from.
The Toad Man hits the pit road, so the Toad Man in 14th might be done.
I think he was just getting out of the way, like Adam was saying. That was the lap car they were catching.
All right, so we have a slight lull here with 8 to go, coming to 7 to go. I mean, you call a lull 3 wide with cars bouncing around all over the place. Wow, Paul K up by the wall. Dibble slips down to the middle.
What a job by all these drivers here tonight. I mean, this is intense racing. I don't care who you are. This is insane.
Absolutely nuts out here. The cars are so much movement on entry to the corner in particular. We'll watch that.
And the guys, you know, 2 of the guys leading the lanes have never won in this Xfinity Series, and several more have never won, period, in this series. I mean, it is insane the amount of guys that haven't won that might be on their way to victory lane here tonight, Dean.
Yeah, absolutely. It's big for some of these guys. And Adam, when you think about this, as we get down, I mean, even right now, it seems like these lines are compressing towards each other. It's 7 to go, coming down to 6 to go. Do you expect them to continue to compress, tighten up, side draft?
Yeah, we're going to have a big one.
We're going to have a big one, he says. All right.
They're compressing and wobbling too much. I'm watching. They're starting. The more they're starting to bump, the more they're wobbling.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I mean, I have faith in these guys' abilities, but it's a tough car-track combo here tonight. Fleming still leading on the inside with Maurer and Leal right there. In the middle, you've got Klaus Williams, Eric Beller, and Bryce Reiner. Then it's Herbert along with Paul K. Travis and Wrecker up top. Dibble lurking, Musial lurking, and Brantley has slid back to the back of the pack.
And remember, Maurer has won in the plate race in the Xfinity Series. Beller has won the Xfinity Series on the plate track. So we got some guys that have won some plate races that are still alive in this pack. As Musial hits the wall, he's gonna have to really get back in the gas to stay in this pack, and that's gonna hurt that momentum of that third lane.
So Musial falling off. Can he hold on here? I think he can. And the one person I didn't mention, I don't know why, Rachel Hunt, still in the mix here.
Rachel doing a great job, and the problem, I hate where Rachel is because you're kind of stuck. You can't make go up, you can't go forward. You're just kind of there, and you're just gonna have to either drop off a little bit to change your lane, or you're gonna have to commit to shoving Leal, I guess. That third lane's dead.
Can you say 4 wide, Jared?
Yeah, I think we're gonna get 4 wide here sooner than later with 5 to go.
5 to go. The Alive Church Talladega 225 coming down. A thrilling event so far. How is it going to end up? I don't know. Only 2 cars left on the high side. That's A-Bear and Paul K. Travis. I don't know if they can do it alone. Wrecker jumps up there and joins them.
Wrecker, I mean, he would love to get a win. He was so close a couple times last season. Finished 4th in points, I think. Beller just a little bit high there. Blocked that momentum of A-Bear just a little bit, Dean. Here we go.
Yeah, it's going to get nasty from here. There'll be blocking of lanes, switching lanes. Paul K with a big push to A-Bear. They look to go to the front.
Musial joins the group on the 4th. So we got 4 guys on the top, 4 guys in the middle, 5 people on the bottom.
You gotta watch out for these blown engines. These guys pushing. They're gonna push so hard at this point. 4 to go, coming down to 3 to go. They're gonna keep trying to overheat these things and then cool them down. You gotta time it right, don't you, Adam?
Absolutely. That's the only way you're gonna be able to get the win.
Well, the bottom line lost a ton of momentum. I think Fleming got down on the apron in the tri-oval. He's down on the yellow line again. And that momentum Klaus Williams could have pulled down and really shook this thing up, but he stayed in the middle with Beller, who's been pushing him all race.
Yeah, that might be a mistake with Leal and Maurer pushing that inside at him.
Well, that and they lost Rachel, went to the high line. So they lost 2 of the guys that were down there on the bottom.
All right. Rachel was going to bail out and go to the high, change her line, try to make up some moves here, and she did.
3 by 3, 4 deep, or 3 deep, I should say. So we're getting down to it. Coming down to 2 to go, and this is where whoever has the ability to push the longest. Oh, Paul K looking to make a move. He thought about going high on the A-Bear and leaving him, I think. A little shot there. We see the cars starting to bounce around.
Oh, my goodness. He is shoving in the corner. That's going to be precarious. They survive.
The whole race has been precarious. They come down now. This thing is getting crazy here late. Oh, no, and they're wrecking. Oh, no. There's Maurer, Beller. Travis seems to have escaped it. And, Fleming.
Green, white, checkered.
Fleming, you look so good. It's damaged.
I saw what was going on. It looked like Paul was overheating some, and he stuck his nose just to the left to cool it down, and the car in the middle came up, and they just met in the middle.
That was a situation where you can't push the pusher. So yeah, you're right. Paul K did come down just a little bit, but that's not really where the accident happened. Beller gets to the back of Williams, and then Reiner gets to the back of Beller pretty much at the same time, and that's what set the whole wreck around.
Well, let's try and get a better look here. Go with the chopper here. I don't think it's going to allow us to get a good enough view.
I was looking at blimp view, but
see, Paul was holding his line. He was just looked like he was sticking his nose out to get a little bit of air.
You see there, possible contact. Beller goes up a hair while Paul K comes down a bit, like Adam said, maybe to get some air. And it's kind of a racing deal, I guess. It's hard to say exactly. You see Wrecker slides off the front of Reiner's nose.
Yeah, it's a little contact from Wrecker right when it happens, and it kind of pokes him down into Eric a
And
little
look
Yeah,
bit.
it's two situations of pushing the pusher. Reiner definitely pushed Beller into the back of Williams, and that got Beller upset, and Wrecker bounced into Paul K. Travis. That got him upset. But you just, when you're the third car, you can't be pushing. You just can't do it. And both of those third cars pushed and created that wreck.
Get Kyle out in the comments saying, let's go. I mean, let's go. These guys been going the whole time. It's been absolutely crazy
And look at
here
that,
tonight.
Rachel made the great call, man. She came out unscathed.
She come unscathed, and I want to highlight George Leal. You know, we talk all about the first-time winners and the underdogs, so to speak, but the 51 leading the points, it did it all right, and he got through that wreck pretty much unscathed, I believe. So watch out for him. Reiner's in the mix, but Williams and Abear will be out front when we go back to green flag racing.
Yeah, it's interesting that the three guys, three people left that have won this race, won races this year, I should say, are still alive. They made it through that wreck, so there's something to be said for that. But we still have a lot of hungry drivers out here trying to get some spots.
It reminds me of the Hungry Hippo, the way they're chewing up on those balls out there.
Yeah.
Well, get set, folks, because we're not done yet. Green-white checker will end it, I believe. Adam, do we have confirmation on that? One green-white checker?
That is correct. One green-white checker, she's done.
All right. So all the marbles, any flag after the green will end this thing. I mean, that may not be exactly true. The white could come out. We could still be racing, but there's a lot on the line. I mean, Williams and Abear looking for two in a row. Williams looking for his first. Yeah, Reiner and Leal in a points battle. I mean, a very close points battle. And then you got Hunt and Dibble looking for their first. Musial and Wrecker looking for their first. And Brantley coming around the track saying, I ain't done yet. Who you got here, Jared? Come on, you got your check. What are you putting it on?
I mean, you gotta like the people at the front of the field. So I'm gonna go with Klaus Williams to get his first career Xfinity win.
All right. I'm going to go for Madness because that's all we've seen out here, but I'll leave my pick from that separate while we go check in on Adam Newton and see what you like, Adam. Who you like?
I'm looking at that second row. I'm thinking either George or Bryce is going to make a move. And because, in years past, and now we got a blinker, hope Claus paid his internet bill, but I really like to see Rachel win this.
Well, I'm going to go off the board here and go with Jacob Musial in the 38. Jacob been lingering around here. Opportunity knocks. He's at the back, meaning he's not going to have a whole lot of opportunity to do stuff, but I think they wreck, and there's a pile up, and Musial comes through there clean.
Well, that's a gamble, but yeah, I think everybody's gonna push, and it's gonna be crazy here, Dean. I know that for sure.
It's definitely going to be crazy. They should get to the white flag because it's hard to get enough momentum on lap 1. But as soon as we head into corner 1 on lap 2, things are going to be absolutely insane. These boys are out here living fully alive tonight in this Alive Church Talladega 225. What an event! You see Beller coming back in here. He's a lap down. We're going to see who's behind him. That's Paul K. Travis there. He's in 9th. So pace car off the track. Here we go. Green-white checker. Inching into the Geico restart zone. Green drops. Big push there from Reiner, but he had to check up a little bit. Leal with a perfect push to Hebert. Can they get the momentum up? A little disorganized behind them. Dibble and Brantley not quite there to help out. The inside lane, a distinct advantage.
And Beller, I think Beller was dropping out of there because he's a couple laps down, didn't want to be a part of the fight. So props to him. But now, can George Dibble and Brantley hook up here and try to get to the front?
Brantley up on the high side all alone. Nobody wants anything to do with that up there.
Yeah, you gotta wait coming out of this corner. That's where you got to make this move on the last lap if you're going to make a 3-wide move at this point.
Heat should be no issue here for these guys. It's a full push from here. Williams and Reiner on the inside. Hebert and Leal on the outside. Leal right to the bumper of Hebert. White flag waving.
Our two championship leaders, our championship contenders, battling to push somebody else to the front. Reiner pushing Williams, Leal pushing Hebert.
And it looks like the inside. Oh, and they turned him. Hebert's around. Dibble's wrecking. We stay with them. Now our 2 points leaders, Rachel Hunt and Claus Williams, you're going to finish this thing out. Hunt goes up high, tries to pick up Leal. It's too late, I think. I'm not sure. Reiner to the rear of Claus Williams. Here comes Leal and Hunt.
They're going to have a run here coming down the tri-oval. And
Leal
here comes Leal,
pulls
pops out the last second.
Hunt goes with them. It's Williams coming to the line. Here comes Leal. Leal getting a big push. They're wrecking. It's going to be Claus Williams, the 3 wreck behind him. Claus Williams, your winner here in the Alive Church Talladega 225.
What a job. First career win in the Xfinity Series for Claus Williams. What a job. Coming up second place several times, and he gets it done.
Wow. Crazy, crazy race, and Claus Williams grabs his victory. The 16 getting her done. Adam, your thoughts here on the finish?
I liked it. I kind of figured that was going to happen on a backstretch, but yeah, I liked the finish. I was glad to see Rachel got a good finish, and congrats to Claus on his first Xfinity win. That's a big accomplishment with this group.
Unbelievable. I mean, I am out of energy here. This race had a little bit of everything here tonight. Some great racing, some big wrecks, and Claus Williams in the Ford Performance Parts machine takes it to victory lane. He's looking at the crowd right now. He's making his hellos and his waves and maybe picking out a new girlfriend. I don't know. But he's lining this thing up. I mean, I don't know if he's just doing photos. Here we go, a little burnout action. And he's going to walk the dog down here. And Adam, you like these? How do you rate this one? Remember, it's a victory.
He did good till he choked.
Don't say that. I said, remember, it's a victory.
Well, I've got a pick on him. He must have lost second gear.
Well,
We'll know what that means.
Jared, it was an amazing race. I mean, I had a lot of fun calling this one here tonight.
Absolutely. What a job by Claus Williams to get it done there. And, man, you hate to see what happened to Hebert there. It just looked like Leal just got a little bit misaligned, and that was all she wrote. But either way, big races for a lot of people here tonight. Jason Brantley, first top 5 of the year, getting it done there as well.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Let's take a look at our finishing results here. You got Claus Williams, George Leal, Bryce Reiner. So that status quo, Leal beats Reiner. The championship remains those two up top there. Rachel Hunt 4th, Brantley in 5th. It's Paul K. Travis, James Hebert, George Dibble, Musial, and Beller in the top 10. You know, you look through the field, you can find Heartache up and down this lineup. Fleming in 12th. I mean, he was leading late, finishes 6 laps down. Maurer was up there all night. You got all kinds of people in here. Corey Buskirk was up there leading a lot, Jared.
Yeah, he was. And tough break for a lot of people down toward the bottom. And we saw, we obviously have Newton in the booth with us with that blown engine. Jason Jackson, Lester, TJ Rogers, McCanny, Person, Ripka, Michael Walker, and Buskirk all taken out in that lap 50 wreck. I mean, that pretty much cut our field down in half. And then we had a couple wrecks after that with Ratliff and with Maurer there. And those guys all finished well back off the pace. But, man, what a race, Dean. And can't wait for the next one.
I don't know if any of us picked Claus, so I think we all got
I did.
Oh, you picked Claus, so we got to cut checks to you again?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm here for. Otherwise, I'd already be gone.
All right, well, while I write out the check, let's take a short commercial break. We'll come back. We'll get some race interviews in. All right, back here at the Alive Church, Talladega 225. Claus Williams with a thrilling victory. It was a fun night. Adam, any final thoughts here before we get into interviews?
Yeah, I thought it was a good race. It was not our usual caution-free deal, but it was definitely entertaining tonight.
Well, we certainly thank you on a hard night for coming up in the booth. We know you'd be up there. You're an adept super speedway racer. Can't wait to see what the Bulldog does next week. Thank you again for joining us in the booth, my friend.
Yeah, anytime. Thank you for having me, and Jared can give me some driving lessons so I won't blow up.
All right now we turn our attention to our third place finisher, Bryce Reiner in the number 14. Bryce, it was an eventful, thrilling race for us up in the booth. Congrats on third place, man.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about, early on, you get a lap down. Talk a little bit about what happened. I believe a pit road incident, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't really know. I'll say a P3 is great, but I don't know if I deserve that. They say I don't, or not that I don't deserve it, but made a couple bumping runs and all that stuff that didn't quite work out with Beller. But no, the pit road speeding penalty was all on me. I tried to time it perfectly to where I start braking, and I didn't downshift quite late enough to get down into second, and I just brushed my right sides on the grass. So yeah, that penalty sucked, but the timely cautions for us were pretty good.
Well, and let's get into the, I think, second last wreck there. Things were getting crazy all around. Were you involved? How easy was it to get through? What were you thinking?
All of the wrecks that happened, I was in the middle of every single one of them. And somehow I managed to escape with no damage whatsoever. I don't know if it's my luck. I don't know if it's certain net codes and all that stuff that doesn't cause me to turn or anything like that. But I got super lucky with pretty much all of them. But yeah, it was quite eventful.
It was. Bryce, you got to be lucky to be good and good to be lucky. You're both of those things here tonight. You're in this battle with George Leal, and somehow you and Leal finished second and third. I don't know if it's frustrating, exhilarating. I'm not sure how to sum it up, but the points race continues. How much are you looking forward to continuing this battle with George Leal?
Oh, it's great. I love racing George. He's a great racer, and all these guys in this league and girls. It's a blessing. Just because George is pretty top tier. Adam, you are too, and a bunch of these guys, and just to go pretty much head to head, pretty much every single race so far, we have finished within 5 positions, maybe even lower than that, next to each other every single race. So it's exhilarating and it's super fun. I don't want to go out there and win 10 races. I don't want to go out there and win by 8 seconds. It's just not enjoyable for me. So this kind of racing each and every track, it's super fun, and I just can't wait to keep getting after it with all these fellas.
Well, we can't wait to see it, Brace. I mean, this will continue next week at Darlington. Sure to be an entertaining race. You guys put on a hell of a show tonight, regardless of how anything went down tonight, man. We thought it was one of the best races that we broadcast up here as far as super speedways go. Highly entertaining. Lots of three wide action. Congrats on this third place finish, man. And we'll turn the mic over to you. Anybody you want to shout out or thank?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. You guys for broadcasting up there. Adam, I know your luck wasn't on the side tonight, but glad you got in the booth and saw some action tonight. Hats off to Klaus for winning the race. I told him I was going to push him, and I did. Congrats on George for the P2. It's a fun battle as always. Thanks to Digital Sim Sports, new paint scheme tonight, so glad to get it on the podium. Team Conti, SimRap Market, everybody who's involved in making these paint schemes happen, and thanks to the admins, and we'll go on to Darlington.
All right, Jared, that's the number 14. Bryce Reiner with a third place finish here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm down here with our point leader, George Leal, who survives a big race that comes home second. Congrats tonight, George.
Appreciate it. And survival is exactly what it was.
Well, talk about it. How did you manage to get there at the end? I mean, there was, we had pit stops, one set of green flag pit stops. We had a big wreck that you nearly were caught in, and then the big wreck right that set the green-white checker you were nearly caught in. And, I mean, you just had everything going on all around you all night.
Yeah, I was just taking it easy, trying to stay on the bottom. I know the bottom isn't, if you want to make moves, that's not really where you want to be, but I feel like it gives you the best chance to avoid wrecks. And knew they were getting a little excited. So a lot of luck played into that, but that one on the backstretch, luckily I had a lot of room to go down there. But on that first big one, luckily I think it was Paul behind me. Thanks to him for not running me over because we were checking up pretty hard.
Well, it's a big race for you. I mean, and it's huge, for your championship. I mean, you actually ended up gaining some points on Bryce Reiner here tonight. I mean, was that your strategy coming in here tonight, was just to kind of survive, or did you want to go all out and try to grab a win?
No, I definitely just wanted to make it to the end. Probably would have been happy with the top 10, but I'll take it, second place.
Well, George, congratulations on that second place. I'm going to turn the mic over to you and let you have the last word on your race here tonight, bud.
Yeah, just want to say sorry again to A-Bear. I thought it was a pretty straightforward bump there coming off turn 2. I was looking at the replay, and it was kind of a bad spot there on the exit of the turn, but I hate that happened there. I was planning on just pushing him as far as I could, but good win to Klaus. Thanks to the sponsors, Alive Church and East Coast Web Printing, for keeping this thing going. And Dean, I need a big game from Gibbs tomorrow night to win my fantasy league.
You got it, brother.
Amen to that. I agree. But that is George Leal, Dean, with the second place finish tonight, extending that points lead.
Well, anybody rooting for the Lions, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of George, but tonight I'm a big Claus Williams fan. My goodness, the 16 down in victory lane for the first time in this Xfinity series. Congratulations, Claus.
Thanks, Dean. This race was full of highs and lows, from going a lap down, screwing up my pit entrance on the first pit stops, to winning the race. I can't believe it.
Yeah, and that's Talladega in a nutshell sometimes, and you had it here tonight. Talk a little bit about the early problems. I mean, a lot of 2-wide action, some 3-wide action up there. Didn't look like you were really, I don't believe you were up there involved in that. You decided to pit early. What happened on pit road?
Coming into pits, the car just was loose. I was braking. I braked early, and the car just came around, and I ended up bumping the inside wall and get a speeding penalty. So I had a 40-second speeding penalty, and by the time I came back out, I was lapped down, and I was just riding in the back, not hoping for a caution, but trying to get in position for a caution. and that big wreck happened, and I got lucky and missed it all. Went through the grass and missed it all. Got the lucky dog.
Well, yeah, I mean, luck plays a factor. There's no doubt about it. We said it to, I think, Bryce, saying, it's good to be lucky and lucky to be good, and or whatever the saying is. Klaus, I'm wore out. This Dega race was something else. Tell us a little bit about racing up there, constantly under three wide pressure.
It's you're holding on to the steering wheel pretty tight and trying not to make a mistake to ruin somebody's race. I mean, ruining your race is one thing, but ruining somebody else's is terrible. So I was just trying to hold it steady. So when I got a bump from the back, I was still pointed straight.
Klaus, I want to ask you too about the high line. You're up there a little bit. Was it a little bit funky? It seemed like there was something a little off about the high line where the car would kind of get sucked to the wall a little bit.
No, I didn't have any issues. I always try to be at least a half a car off of the wall, because I don't like being near the wall. It seems like I always get sucked into it no matter what if I get too close to it.
Jared put all his wind tunnel TV money on the line and picked you there. So you got to put a little thanks maybe to Jared Carr as well. Klaus, we're thrilled to see you get this win. What were you thinking there in those closing moments when, a wreck happens, you clear out. Now there's four of you. Were you worried that Leal and Hunt were going to come and just drive right around you?
They were coming. I was watching them. I didn't think he was going to have enough time to get to me, but I saw George go sideways right at the end, just before we crossed the start-finish line. So I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I was a little worried. I was watching my back. Bryce said he was going to push me all the way to the end, and he did. So I appreciate Bryce for doing that and helping me win the race.
I mean, it had to be a great feeling those last 50 feet or so. You're all alone, maybe hands in the air as you go by the line, Klaus. I mean, what a thrill. I mean, how much does it mean to get a victory here in the RGR Racing League?
It's awesome because this league is hard to win at. It's a very competitive league, and I mean, it's anybody could win this race any week. So to get a win in this series is just, it's awesome.
Yeah, man, it was awesome to call. Awesome to see you get it. Super happy for you, brother. We'll turn the mic over to you. You shout out anybody you want, sponsors, friends, family, Santa Claus, whatever. Maybe he's family. I don't know.
Just give a shout out to George and Todd for running this league, and our sponsors, West Coast Printing and Live Church for sponsoring this league. It's a great league, and I enjoy racing with these guys every week.
Yeah, couldn't concur more. Jared Claus Williams, a great person in this league, along with those sponsors that we love so much. Man, these victories are hard to come by. What a thrilling one this was.
Absolutely. I mean, he had to earn it. I mean, a lot of people, they'll sit there and they'll be like, you wanted to play track, or, play track wins are, easy. It's a crapshoot, whatever. And a lot of that stuff, it being a crapshoot is definitely true, right? But tonight showed that you have to be at the right place, the right time. And you also have to have a little bit of luck. He talked about it. He got on pit road, locked up the rear tire, spun, went a lap down. I mean, this race was done for him as far as that's going. The way the race was going, it looked like it was going to be green to the end of the race. Gets a caution, gets back on lead lap, or avoids the wreck and gets back on lead lap, and he finds himself at the front. And Dean, that's what it's all about. Right? And it doesn't matter when you get your first win, how you get your first win. You always have to earn it, and he earned it tonight and got it done.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. These things are tough to come by. You got to put yourself in position. Sometimes you got to do the yeoman's work a lap down there and wait for your opportunity. He did that. He gets the victory. He moves to fourth in the points. You see the points on our screen. Leal and Reiner still in a battle. Bear Williams, Jackson, Ratliff, your top five, they're all in this thing as well. I can't wait to continue it. And looking forward, we're going to, every Sunday, of course, we have all the coverage of the Alive Church Xfinity Series. Next week, we are headed to Darlington. I can't wait for that one. But for myself, Dean Doucette, for Mr. Jared Carr, and guest host, the Bulldog, Adam Newton, up here, that'll wrap it up from Talladega. And we'll see you right here next time on Wind Tunnel TV.